Hello, I'm Scott Bogey here with Terrance Saeteurn ahead of your fight against Carlos Puente Jr. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good. Now, your fight is on the 6th of September. How are you feeling about that?
I feel good, man. I'm confident. I'm ready to go. I've been working real hard, and I can't wait to go out and show everybody what I've been working on.
Exactly. And this fight is for the flyweight title. Does that add any more pressure onto this fight?
No, for some people it might, but for me, I'm just taking it like it's another fight.
And this opponent is the most experienced guy you have ever fought before. Do you feel like that's going to bring your toughest test?
Toughest test? I don't think so, but you are right. He is the most experienced person that I've ever fought, and I'm definitely not going to take him lightly. I don't take anybody lightly. I'm going to give him the respect that he deserves because he's stepping in there and we're gonna fight. So I'm gonna respect him, and I can't look past him because
Yeah.
yeah.
And how much do you think having that extra time in the god will affect him?
Um, I don't think it's gonna affect me much. I've been fighting for a while too, and like I said, it's just gonna be another fight. I don't want to make it bigger than what it is because that's what it is. It's just another fight. Um, he is experienced, and even though he's experienced, I don't think that he's going to pose or show me anything that I haven't seen before.
Yeah. And just looking into the fight a little bit, I hear you've got a custom headband for this fight. Is that correct?
I do, I do. One of my longtime supporters and sponsors, Fight Like Our Kids, Chris Sullivan, he came up with this idea to make a custom made headband for me to walk out with because for all my fights I walk out with a headband. I don't even know where that came from, to be honest with you. I just have always walked out with a headband. But he pitched the idea to me and was saying, like how he thinks it's a good idea and it would be cool to wear a headband custom made with Fight Like Our Kids on it and then with the names of all these kids that are battling their battles with cancer. And September is childhood cancer awareness month, so it kind of just fell into place, and I thought it was a really cool idea, so I told him, yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, that just sounds just amazing. With this fight, it is in Uriah Faber's A1 combat. How big is it fighting in an organization which just such a high profile legend of the sport?
I think it's awesome, man. I'm glad that Uriah and his team Tom are doing what they're doing to help these guys like myself on the regional scene get the exposure that they need before they level up into the bigger promotions like the UFCs. And I love what they're doing, man. They treat me well, and the like I said, they treat me well, and it's always great. It's always a good experience. I don't have any bad experiences or any bad things to say about how the promotion is and how they run it.
And in your last fight, you were against, I think it's pronounced Sav Swartz. How do you feel like that fight went?
I thought that fight went really well. I kind of sort of went away from my game plan for a little bit at the beginning. I wasn't supposed to kick that early, and it was like the second exchange. I threw a kick, and Stav caught it and went for a takedown. Luckily, I was able to fight my way out of it and defend it well. But other than that, I think I fought really well. I think I adjusted well, and I found my opening, and I took it.
And if you are able to get the victory against in this fight, you will be 7-1. What do you feel like is the next step? Do you feel like it is like a contender series fight, or what do you think's next?
I would love a contender series fight next. I would also love to just for just a chance to get a call, But yeah, I don't want to look past Carlos, but I would say that after a dominant win or a finish, there's no reason why I wouldn't be right there at the contender series within the next season.
And has there been any talk between you and any major organization about a call?
Not exactly. There has been talks about me joining the Contender Series. Um, After this last fight with Stav, I had a phone call with my manager, and they were saying, or he was saying how he sent the video to some guys at the UFC, and they're definitely interested, and yeah, yeah. So
Does it,
that was pretty much it. It wasn't like a for sure thing or anything, but there's definitely talks. They know who I am.
and that's always good to hear, knowing that they do know who you are, they are interested. Hopefully, that call does come very soon.
Yes, sir.
And even if that call doesn't come, are you looking to get back into the cage as long as all goes well before the end of the year?
Maybe, yeah, maybe depending on how much damage that I take after this next fight. If I come out pretty unscathed, I might try to squeeze one more in before the year is over. But we'll see though. We'll see though.
And you do currently train at Nobody MMA. How has that been?
So the team is called Nobody MMA, but the gym is Train for Life.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's great, man. I've been training there ever since I started training martial arts. Um, I started training there in April of 2018, a little bit after, or a little bit before I turned 23. And I never took a boxing class, kickboxing class, jujitsu class, all the way until I walked through the doors. And ever since I walked in, I was just kind of addicted, man. The coach, our head coach, Sonny, is an amazing coach. He holds everybody accountable, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything, and like if you're messing up, he'll let you know that you're messing up. And and the team is great, man. I've uh some of the people on the team are former teammates of mine. And when we were in high school, we all wrestled together. Me, Amini, and Houston. We all wrestled together in high school, and we're all on the same team now. So Huey, Amini, myself. We got Adam, we got Kanoa, you got Caesar, you got Blake, Andrew. Um, Solid group of guys, man, and where their blood blood wouldn't bring us any closer as brothers, and um, I love them, and they're always there. They're always there for me, and we're always there for each other. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be on any other team.
And how does it feel knowing that you have such a close relationship to your training partners and to the head coach? Does it feel like that improves the game because they're not afraid to tell you how it is?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because not speaking for myself, but there are guys on the team that are like, I've been on other teams before, and like those teams, like guys are on the team, but they don't really care about each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of just there for themselves, which is cool. Like it's to each their own, right? But I definitely think us being so close. Um, it's a good addition to us being on the same team. We're not just strangers. We know each other's weaknesses. We know each other's strengths. We're there for each other when fight camp's getting hard and things are getting tough, and um, yeah.
Well, that sounds great. And how much do you value tape study in the fight game? I know lots of different fighters have their different view on it.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was an amateur, I never really studied people too much. I kind of left that up to the coaches, but ever since I turned pro, I've watched tape on all of my opponents, and I think it's been a really good addition to what I already do. It definitely helps with game planning. Um, and yeah, I think it's a good thing that I think everybody should do, to be honest with you. At least at this level, like when you're an amateur and you're starting out, and not a lot of people have a lot of like film on them, it is kind of hard to film study. But once you turn pro, you know there's plenty. There should be a good handful of like clips that you can use to pull from to help you plan out your attack. You know, right?
Yeah. And do you watch a training? Do you watch tape on yourself as well, or is it just your opponents?
I watch tape on myself. We record our practices at T4L, and I definitely still watch my fights after the fights. Um, there are days where if I get bored, and there's nothing to do at home, I'll just go on YouTube and I'll watch some of my old fights, some of my amateur fights, some of my pro fights, and I'll look to see if I've noticed anything different this time around. And I think it's great. I think it helps out a lot, tremendously.
And back in April, you did suffer your first defeat to Luke Guy. Do you feel like in that defeat, there was a lot of things you can take out of it? Like, even though it is a defeat and it is a wee setback, there is a lot you can take from a defeat.
There's always a lot that you can take away from a defeat or a loss, right? And yeah, I did. I learned my lesson. I kind of started to fall in love with just trying to knock people out on the feet, and instead of trying to be a complete mixed martial artist. And I paid for it, and I learned my lesson. And yeah, ever since then, I felt like I've made the right adjustments, and I've showed everybody that I'm not just a striker that everybody was trying to tell me, right? Um, that wasn't the reason why I went out there to try to try to strike with him and only strike with him, but me myself, I felt like I was kind of just getting too used to standing and banging with everybody. And though that it is fun, that's not the entire game of MMA, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to do everything. And if you do want to do something like that, you're gonna have to be able to stop takedowns and all these things, right? And I felt like I've proved that I'm a I'm more than just a striker. I'm a complete mixed martial artist.
And is that a fight that you're wanting to get back to kind of get that revenge?
I would love to. I would be open to it, as long as Blake is open to it. I don't have any bad blood towards him or anything, but it would be something cool that to get back. I wouldn't mind.
And obviously, you were a great amateur, eight victories, one defeat. When you were making that transition from amateur level to pro, do you feel like you were kind of having a reset of your career?
Uh, when I was making the transition between amateur to pro, did I feel like there was a reset in my career?
Yeah, like
I mean, well, I didn't feel like there was a reset, but technically there is a reset because once you go pro, your record goes back to 0 and
yeah,
0. So it's not that what you do as an amateur doesn't matter, but it is practice, right? It is practice for when you do go pro. And I felt like I had plenty of practice. I had really good practice, and I didn't take it any different though. Like I said, I just been every single fight I just take it as what it is, and it's just a fight. And I know the necessary steps to prepare myself for it, and I've improved as I've fought more and more. I've improved little by little in little wrinkles of my game, in preparation and in training and just how I approach it. So, so I didn't personally feel like there was a reset, but I mean, technically there is a reset because your record does go back to 0-0. Yeah.
and what was it that got you into the cage? Was it just transitioning from that wrestling background, just moving it all together?
What got me into fighting? Like what
Yeah,
made me want to fight?
yeah,
So I started wrestling when I was 9. My youngest uncle, my dad's youngest brother, my uncle Johnny, he wrestled for the high school that is local around where I live. And one summer I remember he like taught me how to throw a football. He taught me how to catch a football and how to run routes. And he just seemed like that I was coachable and that I, was like a tough, scrappy kid. So he was like, "You should you should try out wrestling," And I thought about it, and so I said yes, and I went and did my first wrestling class, or my first wrestling practice, and I kind of fell in love with it, man. And not too much longer after that, so I was 9 years old, but like I would say like a month or two after I started wrestling, I watched my very first UFC fight with my uncle, well, with my uncles, and I thought it was so fucking cool. And I told myself, like when I get older, that's what I want to do, or at least that's what I want to try. And I never let that dream, or I never let that dream go. It was always in the back of my head when I grew up. So I wrestled all the way through, all the way until I graduated high school, and then like I said, when I was 23, I was kind of going through some things, some personal things, and I was like, if I'm not gonna try it now, I'm never gonna try it, and I don't want to be like 40, 50 years old and one of these people that are holding on to like, oh, my athletic career ended when I was in high school, and all you do, because I've met so many people, and so many people are always like talking about like when they were in high school, and I'm like, dude, that was like 15 years, like over 10 years ago, man. Like let that shit go, bro. Like, like, and I didn't want to be one of those people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I decided, I was just like, fuck it, man. If I don't do it now, I'm never gonna do it, and I'm gonna fucking do it now. So I decided to start training, and I never stopped.
And how much do you thank Uriah Faber and his team, obviously, for your career? Because obviously, all your pro fights, apart from one, have been with them.
I am extremely grateful. Like I said earlier, I think that he's doing a great thing as far as building his own brand and his own promotion on the regional scene to help guys like myself that are trying to get a start in MMA. Because the only other promotions that do come out here is like Cage Warriors, but that was in
Yeah.
San Diego. That was my other fight that wasn't for anyone. Was in San Diego. They got LFA as well and Fury, but nothing as close as Uriah Faber's A1 Combat, right? Like the majority of my fights have been at the Hard Rock in Sacramento, and it's not too far away from where we live here. And I'm grateful for it, man. I love it, and I think that it's a great place to get your start.
Yeah,
It's got a
exactly.
good platform. Sorry. It's got a good platform. It's streamed on UFC Fight Pass, and and it's Uriah Faber's promotion. Who wouldn't want to fight for him?
Exactly. And how big is Cade Warriors over in the States? Obviously, here in Europe, it is the biggest MMA regional promotion. But how big is it over in the States?
I would say that it's pretty big over here. It's just the when they come to California, they go to San Diego,
Yeah.
and it's a few hour flight from here, but I would say that it's pretty big. I mean, obviously it's way more bigger over in the UK, but it's starting to kind of develop over here as well too. They got some pretty high level guys fighting out of here. Um, but yeah, I would say that it's pretty big over here. A couple of my teammates fought for them. Blake and Caesar fought for them. So when they're out here, we try to get on, and if they put us on, we always put on a good show.
Well, I hear they are coming back to San Diego in December, so you never know, you might be
Okay.
able to get on it. And
Hey.
obviously, with the other promotions, is it is Uriah Faber just going to be your home? Do you feel like that's your home company
Mm,
now?
Um, As far as like, I'm not like under contract with them or anything, so I do have the freedom to fight for Cage Warriors or LFA or Fury. I wouldn't be opposed to fighting for anybody else. You know, no disrespect to Uriah or anything. As long as it has a good streaming platform, like it's on UFC Fight
Yeah.
Pass, I would be more than willing and more than open to fighting for them.
And do you feel like being on the Fight Pass just gives you that just a little bit more exposure?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's like millions of people that subscribe to UFC Fight Pass, and um, some of those people, some of those millions of people watch the regional shows as well. And I think that it's a great opportunity for people like myself, to get their name out there and to get more exposure.
Well, that sounds great. And I wish you the best of luck for your fight against Carlos. You're going to do fantastic, and hopefully you will be able to get that belt. I'll give you the final word. Anyone you're wanting to shout out, anything you're wanting to say.
Appreciate it. Thank you. First off, thank you, Scott. It was a pleasure to meet you, brother. And thank you for having me on your show. Um, I want to thank my fight team and gym. Fight team is Nobody MMA. The gym is Train for Life. All my teammates: Houston, Amini, Blake, Caesar, Adam, Kanoa, Quentin. I would like to thank my girlfriend Nicole, um, and shout out to my sponsor, A Whole New Day. Um, and my other sponsor, Crown Golf, DeAndre and his Pop John. Thank you guys for believing in me and for supporting me. And I can't wait to go out and put on a show. I'd like to thank my management team, Iridium Sports Agency, Jeremy, Jacob, Jason. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for looking out for me. Um, I would like to thank Uriah Faber and Tom Anderson for giving me another opportunity to show the world what I love to do and giving me a platform to express myself. Um, but yeah, September the 6th, Friday, September the 6th, I'm going to be the main event for Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. I believe it's 24, 22, or 24. That's the number of the event.
24.
Um, yeah, 24. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Just woke up recently, but yeah, I'm gonna be the main event. I'm fighting Carlos Puente Jr. for the vacant A1 Combat Flyweight title, and I'm excited to go out there and do what I love to do.
Well, thank you for coming on. That was fantastic. And once again, I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it, brother.